Hello everyone, my name is Andres, and in celebration of this year's release of Avengers Infinity War, I am reviewing all previous MCU movies. This time, I am reviewing Ant-Man. So without any further ado, let's get right into it. Ant-Man was released a few months after Avengers Age of Ultron. And, well, officially it marks the end of Phase 2, but I like to think it's the beginning of the third phase. And I also think the third phase of the MCU is the best phase. Originally, Ant-Man was developed since Phase 1. And the one and only Edgar Wright was behind the writing and the directing. He's the director of the Cornetto trilogy. That trilogy consists of Shaun of the Dead, Hot Fuzz, and The World's End. He also directed Scott Pilgrim vs. the World. And all of those movies are excellent comedies. However, him and Marvel had a bit of a falling out. When Ant-Man was in development, there was not a lot of lore to set up in the MCU. So Edgar Wright had a lot of wiggle room in terms of story. But the MCU has changed very quickly over the years in terms of the lore behind it. Now it's super extensive and every movie has to be consistent in what came before. Edgar Wright, after having worked on Ant-Man for such a long time, refused to change his movie according to the MCU. So Marvel Studios fired him. Simple as that, LOL. And they replaced him with director Peyton Reed, the director of Yes Man, a Jim Carrey comedy I quite enjoyed. And Edgar Wright still got writing credit for the movie because he really laid out the framework for this movie. But Peyton Reed did a really great job at ironing out that framework. And he's directing the sequel as well, so everything worked out pretty well at the end. Now on to the cast. Ant-Man stars Paul Rudd as Scott Lang / Ant-Man, Evangeline Lilly, Corey Stoll as Darren Cross / Yellow Jacket, Michael Pena, and Michael Douglas as Hank Pym / the original Ant-Man. Let's immediately talk about some good stuff. Paul Rudd is cast perfectly as Scott Lang. He gives a very charismatic performance and really makes the Scott Lang character likable and you want to root for him. I was surprised with the performance of Michael Douglas. I thought he was going to phone it in, to be honest. But he gave a really good performance as Hank Pym, and you don't see Michael Douglas, you see Hank Pym. But the real showstopper here is Michael Pena and his gang. He brings a lot of welcome, levity, and humor to the movie. And it's really what you remember most about this movie. Also, the movie's very tight. It has a good pacing and not a lot of that weight in it. It really was a pleasure rewatching this movie. Now onto the bad. Once again, the villain. He wasn't the worst villain ever by any stretch of the imagination, but he was just okay. In a movie where everyone shines and has their moment, he's just a jealous prick. That's it. They give him some moments where you can try to understand what his motivation is, and it sort of works, but you really never connect with him. And overall, he's a bit forgettable. He's a run-of-the-mill villain, nothing more and nothing less. Alright, rating time. My ratings, ranked from worst to best, are as follows. Shit, bad, meh, good, and finally we have awesome. And I give Ant-Man a awesome. I think it's a really great and funny movie. I'd say it's fun for the whole family. Check this movie out when you have a chance. See you next time, where I will be reviewing Captain America: Civil War.